Going into another year, how you feeling about the team? What are you looking forward to? Obviously, we're all jumping ahead to that Florida game, but I guess one day at a time. What do you think of this season?
Fired up. It's a fun group to coach on offense. They show up ready to work every day, and you kind of got to our defense brings it every single day. So it's a fun group to show up. Got some new guys, so we're starting from ground zero, talking new stuff every day, starting fundamentals, and it's a fun group. Receivers specifically, who I'm with, and they show up ready to work. So that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, about that receiver room, seems like Brandon Jenkins last year was the guy who kind of flashed as a freshman. What have you seen from him so far in camp? Then you added some new guys via the portal.
Yeah, Brendan's been good. Had a good spring. He's a little banged up right now. He should be back to full go next week, but just an awesome kid. Went to a really good high school there in Georgia, probably one of the better high school football programs in Georgia. And he came ready to play as a freshman. That probably helped the school he came from. And he's just an awesome kid. Does everything you ask. It doesn't matter what we ask. He goes out there and does it to the best of his ability. And you wish you had a ton of people like him at every position, which we do. But he's awesome. And then, got some new guys. Coach mentioned Preston Bird. We got 3 freshmen that get a little better each day. Preston's probably a little farther ahead. And then a couple transfers that have some playing experience. And we'll see how they do for us tomorrow in the scrimmage. But been a good week so far.
The offensive line coming into this year, what are you seeing out of those guys so far, and what's the expectation to win that battle in the trenches?
Yeah, so they're probably the position group on offense that has the most playing experience, especially 4 of the 5 starters right now. 4 of them have played a lot of college football, probably more so than anybody, really. Probably 1 receiver, at least for Samford in a Samford uniform, DJ Rias, and then those 4 offensive linemen have played more than anybody, so we got to lean on their experience early.
Obviously, the quarterbacks, we've been asking about that competition.
Yeah.
What have you been seeing out of both of those guys, or just that unit in general, and how are they pushing each other day in, day out?
Yeah, just an awesome group in there. All the quarterbacks, the 2 specifically, Quincy and Nick, they're awesome. They're sitting back there, but they show up and work every single day, so good group.
With the offensive line, as an offense, when you come in with an experienced group up front, how much does that kind of help, especially early in the year?
Yeah, that's exactly. We got to lean on them early. Run game, pass protection, we do like to throw it around a little bit, but we're going to have to lean on them, especially those first couple games as we get in a groove. Coach Hatcher talking about we got to figure out who we are, and it might take a couple games. Hopefully we figure it out quickly, but at least we know 4 of those guys. We kind of know what we got with some experience up there.
Good?
Good?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Coach?
First fall camp you're going through. What's it been like to come here, and also what are you seeing from the guys on the defensive end?
Yeah, well, being here in Birmingham at Samford's been really good so far. We're 1 day away from our first live action since spring ball, so our first real test at where we are. Obviously, I like the way the guys have prepared so far and the way they've worked and bought into what we're trying to get done, but really excited to kind of go out, tee it up, play some live football, and really get a gauge for where we are defensively.
You have some experience back on defensively too. What has it been like to see work with those guys who have been here, especially with your first year?
Say that again. Ask that question again to me.
You have some experience returning back on defense. What has it been like to have some of the veterans with you and I guess gel together throughout fall camp, but since it's your first fall camp?
Yeah, we got a lot of quality depth on defense, I think. Of course, we have a lot of players returning that have played a lot of ball here for Samford, been here longer than I have. You couple that with some new additions that we have to the roster, and I think, the future looks really bright for us defensively. I think anytime you're a new coordinator, taking over, the biggest thing is getting guys to buy in and making sure the culture is the way that you want it, and it's been second to none as far as how these guys have embraced me, how they bought into what I'm trying to get done defensively, and where we're trying to go as a defensive unit. So couldn't be more pleased with how they have come together. Really unified group, tight-fisted group that you can tell care about each other. Winning's important to them, and they want to be great, and they've worked that way. So that's been a pleasure to coach those guys.
For the average fan that doesn't know, what is Coach Hatcher's offense like? Going up against it every day, what makes it so special?
Well, obviously they work at an extremely fast tempo. And tempo is a part of college football. You know, everybody has some element of going fast and snapping the ball quickly, but that's what we do every day, all day long. That was a change for me. I'm used to going against offenses where they had elements of tempo but didn't operate under that speed, you know, out throughout the course of every drive. So practicing, having to practice that way, get lined up, communicate, and then still be able to execute and give great effort on every play is a huge challenge for our guys. We have to face that challenge and that adversity every day, so I think that's just going to make us better when we do get in those situations in live action.
Coach Hatcher talked about how attacking your defense, your system is. What can fans expect from seeing you guys out there in the field, and how has that group grown and learning what you want them to do?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I do think we are attacking. Okay, now to me, you know, attacking doesn't necessarily mean what calls you're making and that you're dialing up, you know, 50 billion different blitzes. I think it's more about the style of play. And that's what I'm trying to impress upon our guys. You know, it's more about how we play the game that makes us attacking as opposed to what scheme I'm calling there. You know, our defensive philosophies: play hard, be smart, fundamentals. So we're trying to just preach that and instill those things in our guys every day. There's no perfect defensive scheme. There's no perfect defensive call. Otherwise, everybody else would be doing the same things. So really, we're just trying to focus on playing hard, playing with a hard edge, being physical, giving fanatical effort, executing what we're trying to get done, be a smart, disciplined defense, play with great fundamentals. And like I said, to me, the attacking part of that is more about how we play and the mentality we play with than the actual scheme that we're playing with.
You talked about it already, but how have having older guys on defense helped you maybe have guys play a lot of football and learning what you want to do and teaching them to the guys maybe that haven't played as much as those guys?
Yeah, you know, and the landscape of college football has changed a lot here over the most recent years, but I've always believed you win with seniors, you win with veterans, you win with guys that have played a lot of ball, that have been through experiences, that have been through the fire, they've handled adversity. So naturally, we have a lot of those guys on our roster right now. I think young guys look to those guys, and it just brings that comfortable, settling feeling, you know, to the rest of the unit when you have experienced guys that have been through it before. So I'm leaning on those guys as much as they're leaning on me.
During the fall camp, how much do you learn from that first scrimmage? And what specifically do you want to learn tomorrow from your first scrimmage?
Yeah, I think you learn a lot, you know, and we focus, you get caught up a lot in camp as you're installing and you're trying to get a lot of things in and build your toolbox as a defensive coordinator, things that you can carry into the season. But really, again, tomorrow I want to see us play football. I want to see us be able to get lined up, communicate. I want to see us play with great effort, play with a hard edge, play physical, and great fundamentals, and do that in a live scenario, right? It's different in practice when you're going thud or you're going tag, that you can play hard and still go out and execute. But it takes a different level of strain, you know, from a defensive player when you got to run to the football, get off a block, and get the ball carrier on the ground. And I really want to see our guys be able to do that on a consistent basis and still execute the defense, communicate, play with great fundamentals. So I really just want to get out and see if we can go out and play some good, solid football on a live action right now. Of course, there's going to be some players we know about, that we've seen play, that we know can play, and then there's those new guys, young guys, that we're trying to see where they are really and see if, you know, our depth chart is fluid at a lot of spots. And so, you know, that's something we evaluate every day. So we hope to get a more clear picture after tomorrow of some certain spots depth-wise.
How many spots would you say right now your depth chart is not fluid? I mean, is there and I know depth charts always change, but are there positions, don't need to say them, but are there positions where you feel like, okay, we know right here?
Well, I said my first statement was going to be we'd be pretty darn good if we had a Mike linebacker, okay? But I'm looking back there at Noah Martin, who obviously is All-American, who's played a ton of ball here. I mean, that's about as locked in of a position as you can get. You know, as a coach, everything's fluid every day. You know, it's a what have you done for me lately business as a player and as a coach. So you got to go out and perform every day. So everything's fluid at this point in time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
All
Coach.
right.
Coach?